are then?
That's a very
And
good
here we
question,
go,
and
folks.
it's a very,
Tune in,
very
have a
relevant
listen.
question, especially for the young people watching this. There is an end game. It has been working towards it for a long time. This has not been going on for 5 years or 50 years. This goes back thousands of years. And the key to increasing human control has been increasing human centralization of power. So, for instance, there was a time when the human race was made up of tribes, and the tribes decided what happened in the tribe.
Well, as we can see, he's talking about tribes. Okay, I think that's quite an older thing. He's obviously going to get a bit more modern with his talk, I would imagine. Although, beggars the question, really, do we still have tribes? I think we do. I mean, you look at professional football and stuff like that, we all follow certain teams and stuff. So, that's tribal. We all have different beliefs and opinions, and we belong to different groups within society. That's tribal too. We shall see. Anyway, there's lizard tribes. You ain't wrong there, buddy. I'm sure we can get a few more lizards on board. Tribes of lizards, maybe. Yeah, cool. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Let's continue.
Then there came a big change when lots of tribes came together under what were called nations. And then a few people at the center of the nation were now dictating to all the former tribes that made up that nation. Through the European Union, we've gone to the next level, which is to bring the nations together under centralized control. And the idea eventually is to have a world government, world army, world central bank, world currency, cashless, which we're heading to so fast. And underpinning that structure of centralized global control is complete control of human perception. And it's happening in front of our eyes.
Why would someone want that?
Well, I mean, why?
Right, as he says, why would somebody want that? I don't know. Global control. So who's behind this big global control thing he's talking about? Because, hey, if it's been going all these years, they still haven't succeeded. Mate, they've got to try harder, is my opinion. Anyway, onwards.
Why does Stalin want to control Russia with a rod of iron? Because they're frickin' mad.
I would agree there. They're freaking mad, mate. I think everyone's a bit fucking mad at the moment. Especially all of us here, mate. Anyway.
They're psychopaths. And the first, there's a thing called the hair test. It's a list of traits, and if you have enough of them, you're a psychopath officially. And the top trait of a psychopath is lack of empathy. The inability to put themselves in the feelings and the situation they're making other people suffer. And when you remove empathy, all limits go.
Right.
We're back to 9/11. Only people with no empathy could possibly do that.
Okay, interesting point. He's now going on about 9/11 and saying people with no empathy could have done that. Well, no shit, Sherlock. What we got so far? Cashless is coming. I think you could well be right there, Mini Cooper. I mean, let's be honest, we're pretty much there now, especially with this COVID thing and cashless, contactless payments and all that, except for certain restaurants I visited a few months ago that were refusing to accept cashless payments. I won't go into details, but onwards and upwards.
Knowing the consequences for those people that could start the First World, Second World Wars. So lack of empathy. But where this is
sadly, those people are also very good at what they do.
They're very good.
Yeah.
Right, okay. I'm looking at that guy there who just asked the question. Without being rude, you ain't going to argue with him, are you? He's a big old bastard, him, isn't he? Well, he's drinking a can of Foster's, so maybe he's not as tough as he makes out.
They're very sick, but intellectually
they're usually
very clever.
Right.
And they study, and this is what AI is doing. You know, they talk about surveillance and all this technological surveillance, all this AI stuff. Well, it's not just surveillance. all the things that the human race posts on the internet, posts on social media, all that is being fed into AI, which is becoming enormously skilled at understanding the human psyche, therefore able to manipulate the human psyche to control what? We're back to it, control perception. But the end game, in terms of complete control of human perception, is to connect the human brain to artificial intelligence. And this is something I've been warning about now for so frickin' long. And the Silicon Valley crazies are now openly talking about it. This guy at Google.
So the Silicon Valley's people are the crazies. So what does that make Icke? This is mad. Cassius is kind of okay behaved. This is mad. It is mad, Josh, but I'll tell you what, I'll be honest, I watched a bit of this earlier, and that little bit we've just had there was quite, I thought, a bit dull, bit mundane. But what's coming next is quite interesting, okay? So stick with him, let's have a listen.
Google is called a futurist called Ray Kurzweil, and there are others like him as well, and they're actually giving the year 2030 for which we're in 2019 as we speak, for connecting the human brain to artificial intelligence. And that at that point, and I'm now quoting or paraphrasing Kurzweil, once that connection's made, he said AI will do more and more and more of human thinking until human thinking as we currently know it will be basically negligible.
Right.
In other words, the human mind will become AI, and instead of manipulating human perception will become direct through AI. And this is how they've done it. There's a...
So, according to Icke, artificial intelligence will take over. Is that how I'm reading this? I mean, what have we got going on here? We're probably being monitored now. You're not wrong, mate. I think there are, all our actions on the internet have been monitored and filtered by somebody. And as Josh says, he quite rightly agrees. You're probably not wrong, mate. You're probably not wrong. Anyway, let's go.
Yeah, we're already kind of.
Oh, we are.
Can I ask?
Using the phone for a start.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just want to give you a sequence, because this will be very relevant to the people watching this. I talked about problem, reaction, solution. There's another technique that is the bedfellow, the stablemate of problem, reaction, solution. I call it the totalitarian tiptoe. And what you do is you start at A and you know you're going to Z. But if you go in too big a leap to Z, the change is such that people go, what's going on? What's going on? What's happening? So you go as big a leap as you can, but not so big that people see the pattern. So the totalitarian tiptoe to control by AI went like this. Stage one, get them addicted to technology that they hold.
Right. Get us addicted to technology that they hold. Could he be referring to one of these, maybe? The classic phone. Let's be honest. These guys come out, everybody's got one. And in terms of addiction, I mean, I've got to be honest, what we've got here, chips installed. Well, maybe it's coming. But let's be honest, any bus stop, any young lady or any adult you see walking down the street now, pretty much 80% of the time they're going to have a mobile phone looking at a screen while they're walking. Or if they're waiting for a bus, they're waiting for a train. And I, for one, am very guilty of that too. So I can't complain.
Your goal is to get in the body. So first of all, stage one, you get them addicted to technology they hold. So we had this explosion of the smartphone era. And
even before that, you could say even calculators, that kind of thing, Tamagotchis.
Well, if you want technology that goes inside someone, I know a few.
Tamagotchis? How old is he? Mate, Tamagotchi. Bloody hell, do you remember them? Josh had a Tamagotchi. You have to fucking, it used to wake you up at silly o'clock to fucking feed the thing. And I suppose you say that, it was bloody wiring the brain, very young age maybe. So maybe I had a thing there. Fucking Tamagotchis, yeah. The echo should have gone now, Josh, because I had my mic open when I shouldn't have muted it, etc. But no, Tamagotchis, for those that don't know, it was like a little device about so so big, I suppose, and it was like had a little screen on it. It was a picture of an icon of a sort of monster or whatever, and you had to feed it at certain times and exercise it and even clean its shit up, if I recall. Yeah, he used to go off at fucking stupid o'clock. So you have all these little kids, primary school kids, in bed because it was the must-have device, and fucking waking up at silly o'clock to feed a fucking digital device. Crazy.
Devices.
Yeah. Well, you bloody would.
Yeah, but believe me, they're not addicted in the same way.
No.
That is interesting, though. Right.
So that's stage one, and that's achieved.
Right.
Vast numbers of people are absolutely addicted to technology they hold. You go to stage two, they're holdables. Next stage, wearables. You're going in the body, so next stage you get on the body. This is your Apple Watch, your Bluetooth, and all these things. Endless gadgets.
This is literally not an Apple Watch.
Apple Watch.
So
Endless gadgets that you wear.
Yeah.
Ooh,
and what they're doing is conditioning normality.
Okay, so what we're saying now, Etch-a-Sketch, oh fucking hell, we're going proper old school now. Right, so he's gone from saying that obviously we get us addicted to the phones, and then from the phones we'll get us used to using it, and then we'll start wearing that technology. Now, I, for one, do not own an iWatch or an Apple Watch or anything like that, or a smartwatch. I've got a cheap Chinese watch that counts my steps and stuff, but I don't wear it because the strap broke quite conveniently. So I'm not being monitored by the aliens up there or whatever. So he's saying there's 3 steps. So he's on the second step now, which is wearables. So I do know whoever's tuned in. Furby was a good novel by hooking the kids in at a young age. You're right. It's interesting what you're saying. But is there any truth to it? Let him continue. Let's see.
They're making these things normal. And I'll tell you something about these office assistants in a minute about that too. And these AI bloody Barbie dolls they're giving out for kids and stuff like that. So then you go to the next stage.
Small soldiers.
Which is...
Mate, we were only saying a minute ago in the text here. I mean, who is it? Furby? You're right. They're getting the kids hooked, young. The Tamagotchis, the Furbies. It's interesting concepts.
Inside the body, which is internal chipping, which I've been saying was the plan since about 1992.
Elon Musk is sort of big into that, isn't he?
Don't talk to me about him.
Not a fan?
No. I really want to hear what you think about
Elon Musk comes out and says that AI could be the end of the human race. On that he's right. And then he opens a frickin' company called Neuralink to connect the human brain to computers.
Yeah.
I mean, talk me through that. And sort of...
So fuck me, right there we've heard it straightforward. Elon Musk, the guy behind the fucking Tesla Motors, he wants to bring down the human race according to old Mr. Thing on there, Elon. Mate, so Elon Musk is set up a company where he wants human technology, AI technology into humans. And then now start talking about chipping. And let's be honest, I mean, chipping is something we've all been talking about in everyday conversations for quite a while now, and it's obviously reared its ugly head recently in relation to vaccines and things. So, is this guy onto something? He predicted this in 92, he reckons, or 2002, I can't remember which date he said. So, is he onto something?
Overton window sense of
the only way that they are going to connect everyone to AI, no matter where they are in the world, is by having every inch of the planet covered with Wi-Fi, the cloud. This is what Kurzweil says, that the human brain is going to be connected to the cloud. So the cloud has to be global. And they are putting thousands and thousands of satellites up in orbit. Musk, one of the major ones through his company SpaceX, to beam wide.
Well, what he's saying about Musk now, Musk ain't only just fucking throwing satellites up there then. He threw a Tesla car up there, didn't he? I mean, what sort of a fucking nut job puts a car to float around in space? Great advertising, I suppose. You want to sell to the fucking aliens, but apart from that, mate, I can't see much more benefit. Hey ho, I'd have had it. Why do you fucking waste it up there? Should have gave it to me. I'd have had this fucking Tesla. Anyway.
the planet so no one can escape from it.
Are you of the belief that this 5G thing is something to worry
Massively. 5G is ramping up this whole, what they call smart grid. Do you notice how everything today is called smart? Mm-hmm. Everything called smart is part of a smart grid, and part of that smart grid is connecting AI to the human brain. So everything is connected by is controlled by AI, and whoever controls AI controls everything. And from one central point, when this grid is up and running and it's being put into place more and more every day all over the world, whoever controls that central point controls not only everything technologically, controls the human mind. And see how fast things move. I remember some books ago, not that long ago really, I was warning about the plan for something called the Internet of Things, where everything is connected to the internet. Now, already billions of things are connected to the internet. Everything's connected to AI and the internet. The internet, by the way.
So, what he's saying there, everything is connected to the internet. He's not far wrong, is he? Let's be honest. I mean, my life, personally, I mean, everything I pretty much do is internet-based now. I mean, television, you turn your television on. I mean, although we're getting live internet, satellite signals, I watch an awful lot of Netflix, which is all internet-based. BBC iPlayer, all that stuff is internet. Always looking at your phone, your Facebook, your social media. We are becoming quite dependent on the internet. So maybe he has got a point there. You can see it coming. Yeah, everything's got to internet. You're not wrong. I mean, even like my printer. I bought a new printer. Put that in. Guess what? That's hooked up to the internet. How long before we're hooked up to the internet? But I suppose in a way, if you're wearing an Apple Watch, you are hooked up to the internet because it can track you and all that, surely. Because you can find my iPhone and all that. The difference is I can put an iPhone down. What do you guys think? And not securely. Can't afford one. Hi Gazza, welcome on board. You've missed the beginning. I'll just bring you up to speed. We're listening to our good friend Mr. David Icke, and he's talking about technology in a rough nutshell. And what he's saying is quite a valuable point. He said we started with this is the thing to get us hooked on. So get people hooked onto a mobile device, which is so. He then said get people to wear the product, as in Apple Watches and all that sort of stuff, which we're now seeing. And he's now talking about how he thinks that we're all going to be chipped at some point. And to be honest, I mean, I'll ask you guys, right? Can you see chipping coming in? Because I can. I think chipping will be a thing in the future. And I think it'd be something maybe that they'll sell it to you in respect of you get chipped and you won't have to look at your phone for an email alert or whatever. It'll be read to you through your, I can see this sort of technology coming. What do you guys think? Oh, and we're also saying about Elon Musk. He's also touched Gaz up about Elon Musk. He's saying that Elon Musk has thrown up quite a few satellites. But as I pointed out, he's not just fucking throwing satellites up there, he's thrown Tesla car up there, mate. Sort of a nut job does that. And I said, I'd have had that Tesla, Complete waste. So anyway, it brings you up to pat with where we are with everything. So he's now just starting to talk about the microchipping, alright? But again, in the chat box, throw your thoughts and etc. in there, please.
Was made possible thanks to an organization called DARPA, which is the technological development arm of the Pentagon. And if I called DARPA evil, I would be fearful of evil suing me for defamation of character, to be honest. That's how bad it is, right? And so the idea is before you can make a physical connection to AI, and people accept this, you've got to make a psychological connection. And what they're doing, because it's all a psychological game, the few cannot control billions unless they control the psyche of the billions. It's a very, very important psychological manipulation technique. It's called preemptive programming. Mm.
Well, that's interesting in itself. I mean, he's talking about this all one. I don't know, he hasn't really got to it yet. He hasn't covered what he means by who is behind this wanting to control the masses. But as someone said there, Google Glasses, I remember them being spoken about, and it was a similar thing, wasn't it? But again, as he said, wearable. So maybe that's what it's all about. Old Icke, you know, but I think the problem is with David Icke, he said a few things a while ago which sort of put him in a bit of a negative response, where he was a bit of a he was referred to as a bit of a nut job or whatever, because of the things he was saying about sort of the royals being lizards and things. And I suppose this is maybe part of the Illuminati that he's going to sort of come to at the end. Let's have a catch up on the is he a lizard? I've heard he's a purple lizard, but is he a lizard? Because I know he talks about the lizard, and surely if he's a lizard, he's not going to expose himself as one. Or a humanoid lizard, whatever they call themselves. Okay, Google glasses, yeah, we remember them. Dave is a purple lizard, yeah, he could well be. Made people sick if I remember. But what the Google glasses? I don't know anything about the Google glasses. Okay. Well, it would have been probably not this wrong, because if they'd have been successful, let's be honest, Google would be selling shitloads of them now, wouldn't they? Brings me to a point actually which I'll come to at the end about Amazon that I heard on the news today, and their global takeover is happening.
Okay, this is how it works. You are here, you want to go there. That society is so dramatically different to this one, you're gonna face a response against it. You want to do what? So what you do is you fill the movies and the programs with storylines and scenes and portrayals of that world. And so what you're doing, and you look at the movies that have come out in the last...
That concerns me, because I do know there's one particular viewer who's here now tonight watching this, and he is a massive fan of EastEnders. So if what Ike's just saying there about media, i.e. movies and TV shows, putting us or giving us these great themes that we want to get to become part of, then Dave, am I right in saying you want to live in Albert Square? Fuck me, Phil Mitchell will have your head down a bog in no time, pal. Don't do it. So I don't know about that so much. But hey, let's let the man finish. Anyone else got any thoughts about that? Could you live on Albert Square? I think I could, mate. I don't know. A bit chavvy in places and that, innit? But hey ho.
like 10, 15, 20 years about this whole world of technology and robots and AI and all that stuff.
Anything with Will Smith in, pretty much.
Yeah, and what do you call it? The one with Tom Cruise in.
Oh, yeah, Minority Report.
Yeah, Minority Report, yeah.
Mission Impossible 2 was excellent.
Yes, and what you're doing is you're preparing the subconscious, particularly the subconscious, conscious as well, to become familiar with the world you want to take people into.
Over to the window.
So in a nutshell, what Ike's saying here is all the guys who produce these big films and these big film franchises where they're showing us a sort of a future, he's saying that this is going to be, and the technology they're showing us in these features and stuff is actually already, so it's already there, surely. Don't know. Let's have a look at the comments. This is what people are thinking. Amazon will rule the world. Elon 100%. Mate, what I was going to tell you about Amazon, I mean, they're doing a trial in America now, and the trial is that basically you can go on Amazon and you can order anything you like, and within 24 hours it will be with you. And they're trying it in the States, in parts of the States, and once they finish that trial, the next place they reckon they're going to roll it out to is the UK. Based on that, obviously, that'll include all your grocery shopping. So Asda, your Sainsbury's, your Tesco's, all them big guys, all the big corporate guys, Morrison's, other supermarkets are available. They will all be, well, this is going to be massive. I mean, Amazon will take over, won't they, with that? Also, during this COVID, you know, and we've had all this shit going on, the amount of Amazon trucks I'm seeing with deliveries and the amount of delivery and drop-offs they're doing, fuck me, got it sorted, didn't they, them guys? And as for Elon Musk, well, he's fucking creeping around in the background, littering space. What else we got going on? Let's read some more comments. Right, okay. Albert Square must have the highest death rate in the UK. Who killed Dirty Den? Now, there's a question. Who killed Dirty Den? Wasn't it his own daughter? Dave, there's a question there for you, a bit of trivia. Who killed Dirty Den? I know he was buried underneath the pub, I think. Okay. They're always in the pub. Yeah, fucking hell, living Albert Square, mate, you're in a bad place, I tell you. Can't wait for the Fall Guys. Don't you worry, Gazza. The Fall Guys will be coming up soon, buddy. Okay, Danny Dyer as a neighbour. I'm sure you would, Nicolette, love Danny Dyer as a neighbour. Hammers and all that, maybe. Oh, but I'm sure you've got other ideas. Oh, she likes a bit of Danny. Okay. Alright, Bill, how are you this evening? I'm glad you tuned in. Are you a bit of a conspiracy theorist? You like all this nonsense and shit? I'm just watching a few. We're going to analyse it as we go and see what this guy's got to say. Okay. From what I'm seeing in the chat and watching at the moment, all things will be online shopping. You aren't wrong, Bill. And you're a youngster, mate. And am I right in saying, Bill, you wear an Apple iWatch? Be careful if you do. You missed the beginning of the video, my friend. High Street is dead. Yes, you're right there, Gaza. Bill, with COVID going on too, yeah, you're not wrong. A new housing estates at the old High Streets, yeah. Michelle Fowler. Was it Michelle Fowler who killed him? All good. Love all the conspiracy thing. I'm glad you're liking it, Bill. We like it too. It's a good conversation point. Yes, it's true. All good, mate. Cool. Right, anyway, we're going to carry on now and listen to what our good friend Mr. David Icke has to say. Bill, just to bring you up to speed, David Icke used to be a sports presenter on the BBC, and one day he went on a Terry Wogan talk show. You probably don't remember who Terry Wogan was. And he did a talk show and he come out of a few sort of conspiracy theories, but of course back then he was just considered an absolute nutter. But anyway, onwards.
So as the world is brought in for real, that familiarity is going to lessen the resistance to it because there's a familiarity
about it. I think they're
it.
going to do it, David. If they make it easier to get laid for men, that is the Tinder via, like, you know, microchip. That's it.
Do you know the worry is, David? You're laughing. He's totally serious.
No, I'm telling you now, if there's one way you'll get men to go along with this, is if you make it easier to get women. Guaranteed. And I shouldn't be saying this because I'm giving them ideas.
Yeah.
But I've said it now.
To be fair, Brian, to be fair, if you've had the idea, I think they've had the idea. Can I just ask
very quickly?
Now there's a fault. Tinder app in your head via a microchip. How the fucking hell is that going to work? How would you swipe left and right? Would you use your eyes? What do you fucking go the wrong way, innit? Mate, faults. Right, okay. And his wife Chrissy killed him. I would go with Dave's answer of Chrissy because I know he knows his EastEnders. Okay, I've heard of him. Oh, good. You've heard of Terry Wogan, I'm assuming. He had a lovely hairpiece, Bill. He looked bloody good in that wig. Anyway.
Just to finish this point.
Yeah.
You've got to get people familiar with AI and interacting with it as if it's human.
Part of life, isn't it?
As if it's human. And that's what the office assistants are for. Some people have one in every bloody room I've come across.
Yeah.
They're interacting with them as if the AI...
Is that like Alexa and stuff?
Yeah,
like
all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
As if the
Siri.
as if the AI voice is human, and then you've got the Barbie dolls and these other
Remember
toys.
Rocky? He had the little thing that swept the floor up for him. Sylvester Stallone in Rocky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're everywhere
And we're
now.
talking like early 90s, and even it was in the movies then.
Do you know when you interact?
Right, that's an interesting point because it goes back to what Icke was saying about how they show these things in movies and then they come out in later years to adjust us to it. So maybe we've sort of become familiar. But what he's also saying about these home network things in your house, you know, like your Alexas and your Siri and all that stuff. He's right in what he says because you do start getting used to the voice. I mean, my Alexa downstairs in the kitchen, when I use her as a timer, and that's all I generally use her for, is Alexa 2-minute timer. She fucking never listens. She's fucking awful. I say, Alexa, 10-minute timer. 1-minute timer set. Honestly, she's a fucking bitch. Turn her off. She's listening anyway, honestly. Alexa, fucking do one, mate. But he's right in what he says, because I can be having a conversation, serious now, and a lot of you on here know this. You can be having a conversation and the next thing you go on your phone and on your Facebook feed or on an email or whatever, you'll get a ping. It'll come up with something you were just talking about. Now that isn't uncanny. Now, about 2 or 3 years ago, I remember there was talk about this and it was just general chit chat and people were like, oh no, they'd never be allowed to do that, etc. But where we all spoke about it so much, it became normalised. Now it's happening. But years ago, we all said, oh, we'd never have that, wouldn't accept it. But guess what? We do now. We do accept it, and we accept it as the norm. Anyway, let's have a look at the chat, what we've got going on. Right. Is it? I don't know. Is the interviewer the Geordie who does? I don't know what podcast he does, Gary. It tells me at the beginning, and I will look it up for you. Okay, buddy. So I'll have a look at the end. But he looks a bit of a lad, doesn't he? You won't fuck with him. Alexa, yeah, get used to it. Yeah, you are right there. Great for shopping lists. I've never used it for shopping lists and music. I tell a lie. I asked it to play a song today, and it said, "Yeah, we'll play that song." And if you say yes, then we'll charge you £3 a month or something. I thought, fuck off, mate. Right, okay. She doesn't like being sworn at. No, you're right there. But if she did as she was told, I wouldn't have to swear her. That is true. Always gets related ads after. Yeah, you are right there, buddy. Honestly, we'll have this chat, and I could chat now. And so let's do a test, right? I'm gonna have a chat now, and we'll talk about. I don't know, something for lockdown. Let's have a think. Wouldn't it be nice if I could get a brand new PS5? Oh, no, fucking hell, that ain't gonna happen, is it? There aren't any in the country. Come on, think of something. I'll tell you what. I could redo with some Heinz baked beans. I went shopping this week and I forgot my baked beans. I need my baked beans. I've got my phone here, so we'll see if Siri's listening. But I need to get some baked beans. I really like Heinz baked beans. But supermarkets own are as good apparently. But I think Heinz is my favourite. See what happens. Well, other conversations we've got here. Only use yours for music. Ask Alexa, yeah. Ask her for a PS5. You ain't wrong, buddy, but that ain't going to happen. Although, you heard it here first. I read the other day that they reckon there's a stock of PS5s coming into the country this week, and there is talk on the 7th or the 9th. There'll be an announcement, so potentially you could pre-order on the 7th or the 9th for the next lot of stock that's coming in. Apparently it's going to be a big delivery. But they reckon a lot of it could be do with the EU, how our break from the EU went. Worst one, PS5, yeah, see what she says, Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday, Gazers, that's what I've heard. So, and the 9th apparently is also being touted. So we'll see.
Do you interact with any of these things? Have you actually
No, I haven't got any.
You've not dabbled at all?
No, not at all.
Does it? Why? Because it scares you, or
No,
just
because I don't want them. I don't need them. So, you see, the thing is that when people become addicted to something like technology, they think they need it, but they don't necessarily need it. I mean, I don't carry a smartphone. I have one at home, which comes out about once every 6 months. It's a 3G one. When I have to be somewhere and contacted, and there's no way to contact me, and what I say is, okay, I'll call you from a landline, and I find a landline. That's as much as I use it, maybe 3 or 4 times a year for one small amount of times. Apart from that, I don't use that kind of technology.
I think it's healthier.
Yeah, but what it's doing.
An ad just come up, so while we're ads about to play, we'll have a quick catch up on the conversation there. As Icke there himself says, he doesn't have a phone. He has a phone, and he only ever uses it in emergencies, and he always uses landlines. But surely the Illuminati and lizard people are onto him by now, because he has gone very public with all this shit. So I'm guessing they know where he is, and I'm guessing every time he goes on a landline, they're listening to his call anyway. I'll let the advert play out. Give me a second.
It's creating, especially with the kids and these AI connected Barbie dolls and stuff. It's making them familiar.
Now, unfortunately, that advert, if that had been an advert for Heinz baked beans, fuck me, how good would this system have been? It was that close to being Heinz baked beans. Honestly, I could smell it in the air, my friend. Okay, let's have a look what we've got going on here. Are you going to buy one then, Josh? I assume Gazza's talking about getting a PS5. He's got enough money from Christmas, Gazza, so he's tucked it all away. I've got hold of it, so as soon as they come available, I will be ordering him one. Young people are the worst for it. How old are you now, Bill? Are you a youngster still? Don't know. When do you stop being a youngster? Okay. With tech, definitely, mate. Yeah, but do you wear an iWatch, Bill? Do you wear technology? Because I don't. The most technological thing I've got on my body right now is this. Check these out. Ready? Glasses, man. It's the future. Yeah, I should have had a Beans advert. Yeah, that would have been good. You're 24 now, buddy. Yep. Hello, James. How are you? Thanks for popping in. You've missed the beginning. It's unfortunate. You've missed the majority, but we're just following Mr. David Icke. He's a guy who's talking about future and all technology and shit. And I'm sure your old man's probably mentioned him to you at some point. Okay. Right. Okay. Onwards and upwards. Let's see what Mr. Icke's got to say for himself now.
With AI to the point where they perceive it as human. And once they've got that acceptance and that interaction, then when they move into connect it to here, you're going to have far less resistance because it's not the, oh my God, kind of reaction.
There's no shock there.
It's no shock. It's become part of life by then. And that's why they're targeting the kids now, because they are going to be the adults 2030 when they really want this to come in full blown.
Let us show you how.
Right, that concludes what we were talking about Mr. Icke, or what he had to say to us, shall we say. Let's just press my screen a minute, get rid of that. Yeah, I'll leave them two on. Shame, again, another advert, but it's not for Heinz Baked Beans. I'm a bit gutted. If it had been for beans, it would have been quite entertaining, shall we say, or very, would have proven a point. So anyway, what Ike's saying now, and this is a very valid point now, you see the amount of kids in pushchairs playing with their mums or dad's phones, and they own iPads. So let's be honest, by the time someone who's a baby now reaches 20, it'll be normalised, won't it? I mean, these electronic voices and all that sort of stuff will become their norm. They won't know any different, so they'll be quite used to it all. So, question for you all, just answer in your comments boxes. Would you have a chip inserted? Yes or no? And then we'll divulge a little bit further before moving on. Right, let's have a catch up on the comments where you guys type in whether you're going to have a chip, yes or no. Right. Yes, sorry. Okay. Yes, I do wear it, but only for work. So, Bill, you wear your Apple Watch, but only for work. Okay, interesting. I'm good for... What does the chip do? Right, okay, that's a good question. What the chip does is the following. Because that's what I was going to ask. Would you have a chip, yes or no? But it's interesting that you asked that point before you've accepted it. So, you have the chip inserted. There's no pain. It's literally a little... Could be on any part of the body. It just sits under the skin. Pretty painless. A bit like having your ear pierced, I suppose. If you've had that or any other part of your anatomy done. And basically, if you receive a text message or a message from wherever, it basically reads it to you in your own mind. No one else can hear it except for you. And what else can it do? It will be able to play you music, no earphones required. You'll hear as loud or as soft as you want in your own head the music and stuff from your phone. What else can it allow you to do? What would these chips be able to do? You'd be able to talk to it. Maybe via your mind without having to physically talk like I am now. Maybe you'll be able to say to it, oh, Alexa, while I'm remembering, Alexa, and then you say a word in your head, and you can add to a shopping list or something like that. You know? So, and let's be honest, if this could do this and it was that great a technology, so you haven't even got to use your phone anymore, and make phone calls and everything all via your own head, would you have the chip? Yes or no? Okay, let's see what you good people are thinking. Would you be chipped? Let's see. So, so Josh, you were the first to say you'd have it. Josh would have the chip. Good lad. Nicolette, she's not having a chip. She don't want any chips. I love chips. Watch come off when I'm home. Okay, but would you have the chip, Bill? Okay, James. It sounds annoying as fuck. Yeah, I suppose it could be, but I suppose, like anything, you'd have some control over it. I don't know, that's how it goes wrong, I suppose, then you're fucked. Right, okay. It's all about control and power to the people, i.e. the rich and the elites, which is the Illuminati, my friend, the lizard people, apparently. Okay. Always contactable. Yes, there is that, I suppose. No fucking escape with there. Actually, and I suppose the bastard thing would be you could be laying in bed at about 3 or 4 in the morning, absolutely pumping his heads, and some bastard's ringing you up. What time are you in work tomorrow? Don't forget to pick me up on the way. You know what I mean? Fuck off, I'm asleep. Mate, who else we got? Always contactable. Yeah, fight the power. Fight the power. Cause great responsibility. I might get the chip, but I'd leave it a while first and see how it goes. Okay, fair enough. Don't you get the chip with the vaccine? Right, okay. Very true and probably not. Right, okay, so in answer to would I get the chip? The truth is, probably not to begin with, but you know what? And I think this would happen to all of us eventually. We would all reach a point in life and in society where we all want something, don't we? We all want the latest tech. We do. So with what Icke was saying about all that sort of stuff, in a way, we're pretty much there. We're pretty much suckered in now. I mean, as you know, a smartphone. As he uses the word smart, he refers to it a lot. Not a lot this can't do. This can do exactly what my PC can do, pretty much. I can edit videos on this, I could go live from this, I could stream from this, but it wouldn't be as straightforward as doing it via a computer setup, because obviously you have a bit more control and things. But technology is getting better and better all the time. So, although we're all saying sort of, nah, I wouldn't have a chip, I think once the chip's been out, and maybe a couple of years in, it'll be the next must-have tech. So I guarantee 80 to 90% of you would have it. What else we got going on? Very true and probably not. Rebel against the power. Stand up and fight for freedom. Yeah! Fight the power, Bill. Okay, excellent. Right. So, finally, before we move on to a bit of Fall Guys, question. David Icke, full of shit or knows what he's talking about? And bear in mind though, in his defence, that video we just shot through tonight was only a short video. It's not a huge lengthy one, so it's only a little insight into what he talks about. He talks about a lot of other stuff, but that was just a little insight. So full of shit or a decent geezer, some truth, or yeah, actually I think he's quality. He knows what he's talking about. What do you guys think? Okay, personally, I will hold judgment. I think there's a lot more to all this yet. I mean, he does do a lot of talk at the moment about coronavirus, and apparently, I mean, I was looking into it today, and a lot of people were saying a lot of his videos were removed offline as soon as they were put out there because of what he was saying, and it's giving away what the next thing is. So, let's see what you guys have said. Get a chip with a vaccine, yeah. Well, this is the thing, they're talking about the vaccine and chips, aren't they? Hey. Very true, probably not. Sounds like a sound lad. Okay. I'll have to re-watch it and get back to you on it. Send me the link. Alright, Bill, my advice to you is I will find another one of interest. I'll go through a few and I'll get one of a similar sort of time scale and I'll stream another one another evening, yeah? And we'll have a discussion point again. In this vid, he's okay, but I feel like he talks a lot of other bullshit. Don't know, does he? Don't know. And like I say, I think we've got to find another video maybe as well. And you've missed the start, Bill. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. James, I think he makes a lot of sense, and he's the only one awake in a simulation in which we live in. Mate, you're going all fucking Matrix on me now, aren't you? Red pill, blue pill. What would you take? Down the rabbit hole. Yeah, it's interesting. But again, it's all conspiracy theories, isn't it? And I think there is something to it. I mean, whether it's completely honest and true, God only knows. Matrix, yeah, definitely the Matrix style, my friend. Okay, now, I'm now going to switch over the